Hey guys, so real quick before this video gets started, I wanted to pop in with a little disclaimer. Right before we started shooting, we started having lots of technical difficulties, but we covered a lot of really important topics, so I really wanted to put this up. I didn't want to lose this really great conversation that me and Ann had. A few of the questions and a few of the answers, for whatever reason, didn't record properly, so there was a lot that was missed out on. I really hope that we get a chance to re-record this or readdress some of these issues one day. So I hope that despite the awful lighting and audio, that you guys still enjoy this video. So,
hi guys, so I am here with Ann Mossy, who has selected a lovely topic for today's video. What's the topic, Ann?
Women's health.
Yeah! You guys sent in a bunch of questions regarding women's health and endometriosis and a whole bunch of other really not dope topics, but good stuff to talk about.
There's so many questions and topics about women's health that are on the table right now, and they're important topics on the table.
But we also cannot answer all of them in the span of this 6 to 8 minute video. So we want to have some conversations to destigmatize some of these topics, but also we are not professionals.
No, we're not.
We're not doctors.
No.
So if you have any questions about your own health or anything that you're going through, take it to your real doctor.
I'm also not a doctor. I'm Guy Fieri. Welcome to Flavortown.
Some of this is kind of triggering.
It can be hard stuff to talk about, or just stuff that is not normally talked about.
It needs to be talked about on a broader scale because we only have our experiences. We can only talk about women's health from the perspective of two cis women.
Two cis white women, for that matter.
Yeah. If you think that you have experiences that can help you answer some of these questions better than we can, leave answers in the comments, and I'm going to feature them in a separate video. So, all right, are you ready? Let's do this.
Yeah. Welcome to Flavortown.
What is a common misconception you once had about women's health?
Probably that everyone always used to say, especially when I was growing up, that all periods are painful. I'd literally be throwing up, passing out on the floor, and people are like, "Me too, fam." And it's that's not normal.
A way to express your pain and describe it in a way that people can understand it. What do you think lacks most in traditional sex education?
Everything. My sex education wasn't super great. I didn't really even have one. But I think that LGBT, there's no representation in terms of
my sex education was very scientific, very straight.
Very.
But it was very biological, anatomical. This is penis, this is vagina. That's all they do. That's sex.
There's no other types of relationships. There's no other types of sex.
I get asked a lot to give tips on how to have safe LGBT sex, and I don't have a lot of answers for it because I was never taught that in school either. I learned a lot from Cosmo. Have you ever felt embarrassed or stigmatized over your own sexuality or anatomy?
Yes. I feel like everybody has at some point. Everyone goes through phases, even through adulthood, where you're uncomfortable with certain parts of yourself, your sexuality, how you look. It's just, I feel like it's inevitable.
Yeah. And it's so stigmatized that you can't even talk about it, so you assume that no one else is having the problems too, but everybody is.
We're just confused, scared gays.
What is endometriosis and how does it affect you?
So endometriosis is a really debilitating and crappy disease. Every month, you're supposed to have a period, and essentially with endo, what happens is instead of your uterine lining shedding and leaving your body, it sheds and seeps through the uterine walls and into your body. Bloody tissue has nowhere to go. It gets trapped in your body and creates scar tissue, which can be incredibly painful. Most of the time, it sticks to your pelvic region, but you can have it latch onto your organs if you get too bad, because it can get up to stage 4, which is the worst, where there's so much scar tissue to where it fuses your organs together, which I think is something that's not talked about.
Yeah.
How bad endo can be, because people usually just attribute it to bad cramps. I'm much better with it now. I had a really understanding gynecologist who also had it, so she completely understood what I was going through and worked with me until I found a medication that really helped. But in the beginning, it was really hard. When you have no support system on top of that, or you have a bunch of people around you who are stop talking about it, we don't want to hear it, it was rough. I didn't really become comfortable with it until this past year, because I had people around me that were no, it's okay.
Yeah.
This is your life. It's part of your life. Talk about it.
What are some ways that's affected your personal life?
It affects my life, every day. Certain things that I eat can make it flare up, just stress can make it worse. It's really hard. It can be very, very painful. It can be debilitating even, and you can feel like people don't understand you, but there's a lot of us out there, so never feel like you're alone. There's like a lot of women that have it, but there's also a lot of men too. There's lots of trans people that have it, and that's an incredibly untalked about branch of people that do have it, and they feel alone all the time. There's a lot of us, and you know, you're never alone through it. There's always other people out there who have it and can relate to you.
How could a teenager convince their parents that they need birth control?
It can be really hard.
A lot of parents like don't understand the medication.
A lot of people in general just don't understand that birth control most of the time is taken for medication before it's actually taken for sex.
Yeah.
Most of my friends that take birth control, it's for their cramps, to clear their skin, like to help with headaches, to help balance their hormones.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. It's so normal. It's medicine. It's medicine.
And even if it is being taken for sex, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
that
not
is
bad.
not something to be ashamed of.
It just shouldn't be as stigmatized as it is. Like, it's a normal thing.
Can name so few people who don't take it. Everyone takes it.
Like, there's
so
pills, there's the thing in your
arm. I have a big bar in my arm.
And I take a pill. I can't. There's so many different types.
There's so many options.
There's the IUD. There's the one that you can get in your arm. There's the pill. Like, there's so many options, and there's so many different types of pills.
And they're all gonna work differently with everybody. Don't let anyone scare you out of birth control. That drives me insane. Whenever I tell people that I have the next one on my arm, so many people react and they're like, "That's horrible." I'm like, okay, it didn't work for you. It works amazing for me. I love it. But I do know people that it didn't work for them, and they tried something else that I didn't like. And you just have to find what works for you.
And there's so many different types. Like, there will be one out there for you.
So someone sent in this question about a debate that they had in their health class. Is it only the woman's responsibility to have safe sex?
I think it's both parties' responsibility.
Everyone's responsibility.
Everybody involved.
Because no matter what genitals that you have, there are certain steps that you can take.
Yeah.
And not even just when it comes to things like birth control, when it comes to things like STDs and consent. So when they think safe sex, they just think condoms.
No, there's so many different conversations you should be having.
That is so biased and sexist. Like, God, it's an awful question. I honestly cannot believe that's even a debate that is allowed to be had in schools. So no, it is not the fucking woman's responsibility.
No.
Have you ever had anxiety about visiting your OBGYN? Yeah.
Short answer, yes. My first time going to the Gyno, I was 12. And it was absolutely horrifying because when you're 12, you just started your period. Yeah. And you don't even know what's happening. It's really hard to get over anxiety about that because you have like somebody that you don't really know examining a really private part of your body. It's normal, and if you have a doctor that's like trusting, and you have a doctor that you can open up to and talk to about all of this, and a doctor that makes you comfortable,
it's okay to go through doctors too.
It is.
Something.
It
I
is.
remember the first time that I had to go to the gynecologist after I was raped, I had a panic attack because no one had touched me, and it was so traumatizing, and it was a male doctor, and I didn't know that I could say no because growing up, you're told, like, oh, it's your doctor, they're going to take care of you. But, like, if you're not comfortable, it doesn't matter if it's your doctor. You can say, I want a different doctor. I want a nurse in here. I want whoever in here. It's been 11 years, and I still to this day, I won't have any male doctors because I don't feel comfortable. And I think that's okay. I ask for a female doctor, and I always have someone else in the room. And there's certain steps that I'll make them take that I'll ask for. It's your body. You're allowed to ask for things. You're not being pushy. You're not being rude.
It's your body.
You make yourself comfortable.
And you should have a doctor that you feel comfortable with. Like, me and my gynecologist are on a first-name basis with my vagina.
It's also understanding how normal it is to them.
They see, like, 50 vaginas a day.
It's normal to have anxiety, but it's also normal to go. What's something that you wish someone would have told you when you were a teenager?
Honestly, just, like, don't be ashamed of being a woman.
Yeah.
Like, don't be ashamed of having a period. Don't be ashamed of having a sex drive or a sex life. Don't be ashamed of wanting to have sex.
Everything that you're going through, even if it doesn't seem like it, is super normal.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's having the same growing pains and is discovering their bodies and going through the same puberty and, like, on different levels. People go through it differently, but everyone's going through it.
You might feel like you're alone, or you might feel like, oh, nobody else is going through this. But trust me, everybody is. Like, just nobody's talking about it because they feel like nobody else is
because they think no one else
it.
is doing it, yeah. Yeah, I wish that I would have been able to feel more comfortable talking about sex. I remember being terrified to buy condoms and terrified to talk about birth control. I was 19 the first time that I got on birth control.
It's terrible.
Well, old enough to be. But no, I mean, I was 19, so I was
like
plenty old enough to be making those decisions, and I still was like, oh my god, I'm doing something wrong, or I was so unsure of myself. Yeah, I wish these things weren't so stigmatized and that we could talk about them freely. Like this.
Yeah.
This is such a nice, freeing conversation, and like, I'm not even judging you that much. Thank you for being in my video. Thank you for being so candid and talking with me about these so faux pas, so stigmatized topics.
They're nerve-wracking topics.
It is. This is hard to talk about, but thank you guys for watching. And like I said, if you have any other comments, if you have some experiences that you think give a better perspective than what we have, please leave comments. You have to do this because it's a YouTube channel. Leave comments in the, what's it called? The description. I don't know how to YouTube. I suck at this.
I don't know. I don't have a YouTube.
You can also click the link in my description to get to my advice column and leave me some questions or comments anonymously. I would love to get back to some of that, and I'd love to hear more perspectives.
Yeah.
Because these are really important topics that I think really need to be talked about, are not talked about enough, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay confident.
Welcome to Flavortown. Guy Fieri wishes he were me.